Hello.
That's a new little intro song.
I know. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like I guess because StreamYard has decided we're gonna start charging people a shitload of money for. They're like, oh shit, we better actually add some like nice premium features. So they have a nicer little music. They've got like scenes you can set up because they're like, oh god, please no, don't everyone just go back to OBS and stop paying us. We'll give you like we'll like justify the reason you're gonna pay all this money, and then I'm still gonna cancel and go to OBS. But anyways, welcome to another exciting episode of Shattermare Live, where we might have a special guest lined up. We'll have to see because I messaged him on X. He said send me the link. I sent him the link. I told him when we're starting, and we're already 15 minutes late. So the show must go on.
We shall see. We shall see.
But of course, I'm joined by my amazing co-hosts, William and Kyle. How are you guys doing tonight?
Amazing.
Tell me how you
Doing
really
okay.
feel.
We got we got quite a storm here, so hopefully the power don't go out. But yeah, we're getting hit with some rain and wind, but not like Florida gets. So I can't bitch about it.
You know, it has been pretty windy over here too. It hasn't been super rainy, but it's been pretty windy.
It's been windy, man. We just got back from this camping trip in North Carolina, and tell me about wind. Oh man, Kyle. Like,
oh yeah, no,
like
yeah, the
tornado
nature was trying to like
gorge.
blow our tent away in the middle of the night,
and it almost did because we're too stupid to read the tent instructions because we're like three dudes, and we're like, oh, we got this. How hard can it be to set up a tent in the dark, in pitch dark on the mountain?
So you mean like you're basically hardly heroes?
Yeah, we're hardly campers, William. So. Yeah, we figured it out. It was a fun trip, though. It's always too short. That's how I feel. Anyways, so yeah, so we're gonna see if Rex is gonna join us tonight. If not, we got a full show lined up. So, I mean, we probably should just jump into the first topic of whatever we want to talk about. Do you guys want to talk about like gaming, comics? I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, we can start with comics.
Start with comics, okay. We might as well. I mean,
and I know Kyle has a limited time budget, so
yeah, that's kind of like what the title of the show is too. So start with that.
There'll be comics. So actually, there aren't any comics, but there is wind.
There's a lot.
We can even talk about the Daredevil show, which I've seen.
Oh, I did not do my homework yet, so if we talk about it, don't spoil it. Just give me your general thoughts.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, well let's talk about some comic news. It's funny. I came up with that title for the episode, and I wasn't even thinking about how windy it was. But like that's just my subconscious. I just thought it would be funny to sound like a pirate. That's it. So
that works.
Anyways,
that works.
With that being said, Marvel Comics executive editor. Sorry, is this Gizmodo? No, Bounding in a Comics. Sorry. So Bounding in a Comics. Editor rejects idea that Peter Parker and MJ should get back together due to popularity of Ultimate Spider-Man. Quote, it doesn't really make a convincing argument to me at all. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, it really is. Moving on. If you want Amazing Spider-Man to be what you want it to be, or it's not going to happen. They don't care about the fans. I guess you have Ultimate Spider-Man, so there you go. That's something,
right? That's what I got. That's the only modern Marvel comic that I guess you'd say collecting. I mean, I'm accumulating issues so that when the full story is out, I can just read through the whole
they
story.
Still did a lot of race and race swapping and things in that.
Yeah, so whatever. Yeah. They did some mild stuff, but the funny thing is that's when you just don't care as much because if the story's good, you're like, okay, sure, this is obviously weird, but like,
right,
you know, they do the race swapping where it's like just checking boxes, where it's like, oh, this like villain or side character is now black, and you're like, okay, whatever. That's just like mildly irritating. But you know, they do it because, like you said, they can, and they know if it's a good story, like people will put up with it. So that's kind of where we're at.
And it seems like their ultimate book is outselling Amazing Spider-Man, which
it's
is
crushing. It's probably outselling everything, like most of their books combined.
Yeah.
We have an article about another update sales article soon. I want to we'll look into that kind of covers Western comics from another angle. But yeah, so this is just like the epitome of modern comics. Like in standing firmly opposed to wider fan sentiment, Marvel Comics executive editor Tom Brevoort, which that guy's a fucking retard.
Tom Brevoort,
yeah, Brevoort says that while their romance has played to rousing applause in Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3, he does not believe the series' current popularity presents a convincing enough case for restoring Peter Parker and Mary Jane's marriage in 616. Like that.
How clueless can you get?
Yeah, it's just like baffling. It's just pretty stupid. I mean, it's like
I can't even say fuck the fans. I don't know what does.
Yeah, I just can't even say it with a straight face because it's so stupid. Like it's just so dumb. It's like, I mean, we already knew that, right? It's not.
I just found this today, by the way. That's why we're probably not up on it the way other channels might be. I just found this.
Yeah. Well,
but I found it to be pretty consistent with how Marvel has been, and they just don't give a shit about what we want or tradition or any of that stuff. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're subsidized by Disney. They don't give a shit. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Fuck off.
Well, and here's another like priority of the editor, right? So here's another related article where he says he'd rather a book cause outrage than be ignored. Right? So that's their whole retarded idea of how to market and edit and sell books in a nutshell is just to spite the fans.
You could be neither. Like if you're good.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. Lots of angry people tends to correlate with a lot of people following a project, which is just not true. I mean, like if by following you mean like Twitter, like X engagement, but if you mean by following as in like they're reading it, like they're actually following along with the comic and buying it, you're wrong. Like they're not fucking buying your shit. So, and that's all these execs think. I mean, and like clearly, he loves who was it, Zeb Well or whoever the dipshit writer was on that Spider-Man run that everyone is comparing Ultimate Spider-Man to for the last months, like a couple of years.
He failed miserably.
Right. And they just quietly shoot him away, though, Like there was no, oh, yeah, look, there was never any admitting that, oh, yeah, this is a terrible idea, blah, blah, blah. It's just all.
Like the writer before, his name was Spencer, and it was okay. But he went to Substack. So he's doing indie shit himself. Left Marvel.
I mean, it's even funny, like, you can tell how little they give a shit about this because look at the contrast between the art in this one. This is how I know it's like, I don't care what you say, Tom Brevoort. Like, you guys don't even give a shit about your own main run because it's like, look at this and then look at this.
Yeah.
Like, look at the passion and quality that goes into that page.
It just pops off the page.
Like, look at the way Peter looks, Mary Jane, like the shading, all the cross hatching that we've talked about.
Let's not get into cross hatching.
That's our
TFM PTSD.
I should have like an audio board where I just click it And he's just like, not enough. Just record that, just to trigger
We
you.
need more cowbell. We need more.
We need more TFM. Yeah, I mean, you just look at these pages. It's just night and day. It's crazy. So, yeah.
And you know what? He's the guy in charge. And I've actually received emails from him. I sent him really nasty emails, and he sent shit back to me. I probably should.
Who?
I'm not going to post it. I think I deleted it.
To who?
To Tom Brevoort, to Marvel.
Oh, nice.
And Tom Brevoort actually answered. I actually have his email address.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to actually direct an email to him, I have it.
Oh yeah, we'll have to check those out. Maybe we'll like cross some stuff out, but we'll have to see the.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he was trying to be diplomatic. He was trying to be diplomatic at the time.
Sure, at the time.
Because they were going to make Spider-Man gay and Wolverine gay, and I mentioned that in my email. Like, what the fuck why do you hate your fans? I mean, literally my email was, why do you hate your fans? And he's like, we don't hate fans. We, anyways.
Not the real fans, they'll take whatever shit we give them and like it.
So, right. Well, that's obviously what they think. So let's bring on our guest.
But this is, let me just say, as Amazing Spider-Man goes, that's how Marvel goes. That's how it's been historically. Now, yes, the X-Men have outsold Amazing Spider-Man, especially in the 80s and 90s. But still, Amazing Spider-Man is a great barometer in a flagship title that you definitely want to get right. And it seems like they got it right on Ultimate, but they don't want to shift that success to a flagship title. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Sure.
Period.
Well, because it's too good, it's what the fans, I mean, that's from his own words. That's what the fans want, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's bring our guest. Rex is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add him. Boom. Hey.
Hello.
We're just doing it live.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes, you did go live a little bit early. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
It's going fairly well. Yeah, I've been hitting the ground running.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Hey, Rex. Hey, Rex.
Hey, there you are.
Really here.
Hey, Morb. I totally agree with Morb that, Spider-Man should be the barometer of Marvel. I mean, it's their flagship character. The only other one that kind of comes close is the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, I mean, the most popular character that they have is Spider-Man. And when Spider-Man is selling around 60,000, which was cancellation numbers back in 40 years ago, then yeah, hey, some person, that's not a good barometer for comics, but Marvel's going to do what Marvel's going to do, and DC's going to do what DC's going to do, and us independents, we have to become the entertainment that they're not giving us, apparently. So I'm fine with that. I mean, as they fail, that's just going to lift our boats, hopefully.
Thank you, some person.
I mean, there's a lot of infighting in indie comics, and I'm not going to even get into it, but I saw some things last night.
Agreed. I think so. I think we already have.
We got to stop tearing each other apart as well, and building each other up.
I mean, why? I mean, we need to focus on more positive things, I think, most definitely, and talk about what's good and positive about comics, and what are, I get that warm fuzzy feeling, as they say, when I think about all the things that comics did for me. I mean, obviously you can look back here, I still collect comics. I still looking for those key Marvel comics before they started all this woke stuff, and key DC comics or whatever. But as far as the new stuff is, yeah, it's hit and miss. Even I can't promise they don't deliver a consistent product, if you will, anymore. I found that out when I bought one of their Blu-rays. I didn't even question. I bought out every DC. I think DC does animation a little bit better than the Marvel.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I used to not question it at all till I got the Gay Ray. They did the Ray on DVD and Blu-ray, and I bought it, and yeah, I was very disappointed in that. Kind of like what they were doing over on WB. They did the same thing. They took a Golden Age character that fought Nazism and fought for freedom, turned the character gay instead of taking, a new, like Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, they turned him gay. And there was no indication of that. Just like Iceman, they turned him gay. There was no, he was always a lady chaser. So they're going against the hype on these characters.
Didn't you guys know fighting Nazis is gay? That's what they want you to believe.
Well, all I know is if you're white, heterosexual male, clinging to your gods and your guns and you're patriotic and you don't vote Democrat, that you're gay, that you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
So
right.
If I'm going to be
and
called
your
a
guitars,
Nazi,
here's a pick.
I'll.
Yeah, well, that's what they get for sending mixed messages. I don't know.
Here's a pick. Pick my nose.
Guitar pick.
That?
So yeah. So talking about books in America that actually sell, apparently, and this is what Marvel and DC should be. We actually talk about this on your show, Rex, about how are you actually going to target kids? How are you going to target the next generation, youth? How are you going to sell fun stories that they enjoy? Apparently, that's the Scholastic Graph X,
which we're paying for. That's tax dollars.
Yeah, we subsidize it, but that's what sells the most in apparently now in bookstores in 2024.
You know what's really selling to kids right now?
Like
is
I hear about
Marvel Rivals, the video game.
Well, obviously they don't have comics. Well, so Marvel Rivals, from what I hear, is like loosely based on the Bloodline, like the current like Vampire World comic like event that Marvel's doing with the Blood Hunt or whatever it's called, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't know that because no one who's playing Marvel Rivals probably reads Marvel comics. There's probably like 2%, 5% crossover there. But I mean, to be fair, I hear about Dogman. Like people talk about that book. I mean, kids love Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, I mean, Captain Underpants years ago.
Captain Underpants,
Scholastic News probably leading the pack. Apparently,
that was when I was when I was growing up. I mean, they've got all kinds of Dogman stuff. Wings of Five Nights at Freddy's. So I mean,
there's no reason with a few creative distribution things that we can't do what they're doing.
Right. And
as far as sales and stuff. And I think in crowdfunding, if you have a good IP, if you have a good plan, you can do that. I would say 40 years ago, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did it. They got them a business manager and they got them a animated deal and they took off from there.
Dude,
right. Well,
biggest
without that business manager taking them to the next level, it would have been a good selling comic, period.
The biggest regret of my life is I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in my hand at the comic shop, #1, and I set it down because I didn't think it'd be anything, and I'm kicking myself to this fucking day.
Well, don't feel bad more because I saw #2, 3, 4, and 5 in the back issue bin, and that was just some books that he picked up at like comic flea market or whatever, and I wasn't sure about it either. It sounded very strange to my ear. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? What the hell? Okay, so
they're
I
ripping
went
off
home.
Daredevil. I'm like, wow, this is Daredevil.
And I read it. I read number 2 and I said, and I rushed back. And I think when they opened that next day, I said, "You still got that number 3, 4, and 5?" And I bought it. Or I didn't even ask him. I just was there when they opened, and I went straight to the back issue bin, and I got the next 3 issues. And I said, "Sign me up for this from now on," you know. And then later, yeah, he offered me number 1, and that's a regret for me. I didn't buy it at $175 in near mint condition. But I said, you know, for $175, I can get a lot of other new comics for that. And I passed on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I've got a good reprint.
But I did get Green Arrow Longbow Hunters 1, 2, and 3 first printing. So,
oh yeah, I remember when those came out. It's sad that the direct market and that the direct market was one of the factors that killed the stands. It's sad that we couldn't have had a direct market that helped the comic book stores grow. And I never thought that would have contributed to the stands going away, because it had been around for decades. That's all we had.
Yeah,
it would have been not. Now you can't stumble in. What does that mean? You can't stumble into a pharmacy. You can't stumble into a grocery store or any other place like that and go, wow, as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
You
some
can't
person
discover new vistas, new ideals, learn how to read. You know, comics help me be a proficient reader.
Yeah, I mean,
I needed that visual stimulus.
You and I are in the same boat because I became a reader because of comics, and I became a writer because of comics. Really?
Oh yeah, I guess you could say that too. I became a writer because of comics.
And
sure. Yeah.
You know, the fact that they stopped treating them as periodicals. And so retailers had to take the loss. So, for example, if I were a retailer selling Time magazine and I ordered 100 copies and I got, let's say I sold 50, I could tear the covers off, send it back to the publisher, and get credit. And that's how I guess comics used to be.
Right.
And it's no longer.
Often, yeah, they were supposed to sell them retail.
Retailers said, secondary. Well, if I order 25 X-Men and I sell 10, which never happened. Back in those days, X-Men sold, it was empty. But
$500,000, $250,000.
You know. Yeah. But nonetheless, I don't have a recourse. And that also causes the people who make the comic, in this case, Marvel or DC, to say, we don't have to give anybody credit. Fuck it. Just eat it, man. Eat it. And we're going to do what we want. And that kind of dovetails into the first story. We're going to do what we want. Fuck the fans. There's not going to be any financial repercussion because we're propped up by Disney and Warner Brothers, and the hell with you. But retailers a long time ago said, no, we're not taking the risk. I mean, and that's why you can't get Marvel comics in drugstores or 7-Elevens or supermarket. That's where most of my comics came from.
All right.
Supermarkets.
So we got a couple shout outs in the chat. So we got a shout out for Frog G and
yeah, I bought that book.
Some Clint Hilinski books.
I didn't get the blue bombshell, but I did take a chance. And I was one of his he had already shut the campaign down, but you know how over on Indiegogo it takes a day or two maybe to actually stop and shut down. I've done a couple campaigns that way. His Superiors book, I bought that. I haven't read it. I haven't read the Frog G yet, but I know I've read Jason Bascom's Absolute 1 and 2. So I know what to kind of expect with that. It's going to be good.
And I bet you got the Shelby cover. I got the Shelby cover.
Nice. Well, I pulled 100% of our audience of chat right now, and turns out people are reading indie books if they're reading Western comic books, like us.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you know, but to the going back to the article, that's the crucial part of comics. I mean, they used to be the bread and butter of comic books. The industry used to know that. They weren't idiots like purposely destroying their own books and their fan base. So yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, even if it's subsidized, they're still selling the books. So
well, they were accountable.
Well, hold on.
So if I put out,
stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right.
You can get into Scholastic books. Like, yes, they have a publishing arm, but they're also a distributor. So if you were Marvel and DC, you could try to push more stuff into Scholastic. I mean, I think Marvel has in the past, but you know, if you look at the article, it's like, okay, well, where are they? I don't see them. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's huge numbers like for the comic industry, but you know, it also proves that graphic novels are really where it's at. People aren't really buying individual comic books anymore. And if all you have to do is contact a printer and get your book printed in a book instead of saddle stitch printing, that's really the only difference. People don't know, you know, really what the essence of a comic book versus a book is anymore. And you could just sell a book. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's great. Like I just got a huge a little while ago, a huge compilation of Conan comics from Buscemi. And I'm just, you know, again, I guess trade paperback, but this is like 300 pages or something. It's awesome. You know, I got a 2-in-1 for The Thing and all of his adventures. And it's great, man. Love it. Not going back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna blow through these articles so we can once Rex gets back, we can check out his stuff because we were shilling Mercenary Guild when we were on his show the other night.
Oh,
so
of course.
I want to feature his cool stuff that he's got going on. So, yeah, let's talk about what I think is probably the funniest thing about Invincible. I mean, this is probably the biggest Invincible news. Them talking about, oh no, the change to Amber's controversial story, which, if you guys haven't seen the show overall is great. Like from what I understand, it's very, very close to the comic. Basically, except for this like race swap that they made. And not only did they swap her, but I guess because they made her black, she had to be a cunt too. Like she had to be like this obnoxious like activist, like leftist activist, like feminist woman. Like, oh, I'm going to college and I'm gonna do like black studies. She basically says like I'm gonna do like social activism studies in college, and you're like, oh, this is so cringe and gay. So it's hard to even know what they're talking about because
no, it's not actually.
Is it?
This is what the boys did. They started off really strong, and then it went into shit. And I think that's what a lot of people are worried about Daredevil, because they introduced a bunch of girl boss characters and whatnot, and they kind of took Foggy and Karen and put them to the side. Well, they killed Foggy, but spoiler alert, whatever. It's 15 minutes in the show. And so they're going to introduce characters that so far you don't give a shit about. The only reason right now to watch the Daredevil show is for Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. That is it. The rest of the characters you don't give a shit about. You don't know their motivations. Blah, blah, blah. It's still okay. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not dog shit, but it doesn't quite live up to Netflix's standards. But they're setting things up down the road.
I think that's with a lot of shows.
Yeah. And so, it's a bait and switch. They bait you with, we're going to be true to the comic and like the boys was. And then eventually it unravels. And I think that's what's happening with Invincible. it's starting to
Maybe.
unravel.
Maybe, but they talked it. So the reason I say it's confusing is because they, Robert Kirkman, the creator, they were talking about
He's the
because so
Evil Dead creator, or Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah, and Invincible, and a handful of other pretty big comics. And so this whole change was that fucking douche Seth Rogen. He's like an executive producer. Like I guess I don't have concrete proof, but that would be where I put my money, as he made those kind of changes. And Robert Kirkman came out and said, "Yeah, we're going back to," so like in season 2 they actually did make a course correction where she was, I mean, they couldn't just randomly introduce like a white girl in. That would have been weird. Even though that's what she should have been, just like normal blonde white girl that she is in the comics. But so they basically shoo her away. Like they make her more, they make her less of a bitch, and then they kind of shoo her away because they're like, well, whatever. We have to set up Eve, his relationship with Eve. So yeah, they did kind of make a correction. So this is actually more interesting than a lot of stuff that does do what you're saying, William, which is just, okay, well, given enough time, it's just gonna go be gay, and it's not gonna be anything like the comic. And yeah, they're gonna introduce like some person saying their weird fetish into the show or whatever it is. But this, it's like there's almost an internal struggle between the people who make the animation and Robert Kirkman, who actually knows what's up and he knows what his fans want because he wants to make it true to the story. Yeah. So I actually don't know if they're talking about her controversial story in the sense that, like, from this writer's perspective, where they're like, oh, it's controversial that they basically got rid of her because they made her a shit character in the animation, or it's controversial that they're gonna bring her back. I don't know. So I'm actually interested to see season 3 because,
well, if Kirkman's in charge, then I have faith in it because he's,
yeah, I think so.
I mean, I remember in The Walking Dead, he killed like 5 black people in 2 weeks, and the trades were going nuts.
Yeah, like, he was involved through, I think, at least the first, maybe the second season of the show. And
no,
then
he was not. The first season was actually the guy who did the Green Mile in Shawshank.
Oh, God, what's his name? Well, but Robert Kirkman was involved, though. He was like on the set.
Yeah, he was involved after the first season. It was Duramont. Okay. Duramont did the first season, and it was only 6 episodes, and then there was a lawsuit afterwards because there's a lot of herky shit going on there, but a lot of the actors were Duramont actors. You've seen them in other Duramont productions, like The Green Mile, like The Mist, like Shawshank. You've seen them in there, and they wanted to leave with Duramont. Duramont was basically done after the first season, and he pressed a lawsuit against AMC. But at that point, that's when Kirkman came in and became a writer for the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after the first season, and kept it alive. But that first season, The Walking Dead, is unbelievable. Yeah, it's only 6 episodes, but it's unbelievable. But then that's when Duramont was kicked to the curb. And I don't know the specific, and a lot of the actors wanted to leave, and many of them did die on the show, like Dale and Andrea, and what have you, and because they didn't give a shit at that point, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just started dragging on and on and on, and
yeah,
the show's kind of just
but then Kirkman took a more general approach, and I still think the show had a lot of steam up until season 5, and then it kind of, you're recycling the same plot, bad guy and whatever. Anyways,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, so we'll see Invincible. I mean, I'm gonna check it out. That's one of the few shows that I'm looking forward to, I guess.
Yeah.
probably. I mean, just by the way you described the new Daredevil season, I don't even know if I'm going to watch it.
I would still check it out. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give the new Daredevil right now probably a 7.5.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's not X-Men night. So when we look at Disney Plus, I think the best thing they've ever done was X-Men 97.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, this is, and I look at the previous Daredevil seasons. I give the first 2 a 10 out of 10. The third an 8.5. This is probably a 7.5.
Yeah, the
right
original
now.
Daredevil, was not
The
too bad
Netflix show.
on
Yeah, well, yeah, that
Netflix,
was the
but I
best
never
one they
watched
had.
it live. I got it on disc, and I got it on disc.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm a physical media type guy.
Yeah.
And if it comes out on disc and it's available, or I see it and it's like, gets good review or something by then, I don't mind watching things late. I wish people would just say, I don't need this crap. I'm not going to play into the streaming wars and all that. I just want good entertainment, and I can wait on it. I just got done a week or so ago watching Godzilla -1, and you know what? I enjoyed it just as much as I would have on opening day.
Yep.
So,
Love
Yeah.
I mean, I've not had inward streaming TV. Now, this is just me. I've not had I don't play that game. I get physical media. I'll binge watch. I just watched most of a show that I did not watch that much back in the day, but it was at the right price, and I figure it's one of those shows that have held up over time. And even when I started watching it, I got maybe maybe the first season and didn't go any further. And there was 5 seasons I bought, but I said, you know what? I'm going to watch those. It was Quantum Leap. I've been watching Quantum Leap.
Such a good the
show.
original.
We took you all over the place,
Yeah.
Had some twists and turns, especially in season 4 and 5, which is good because they grow, with the, and make it something different, and try and maybe save it for another season. I don't know what they were doing, but it's a good solid 5 seasons. Man, there's stuff out there. I've still got a few seasons of Gunsmoke to collect and watch. I mean, that's a good solid Western, that ran for 20 years. Obviously it's good. People liked it. Life happens. Become the entertainment you want to see. You want to see better animation? Not all of us can go into animation and blah blah blah. Right? But we can chip away at it. We can vote with our dollar. That's it. And I feel like some people are going, try to, and you let these things limp along, and it's like, no, till you start sticking with the original material.
Hey, Feline.
And quit altering it so much that it's not even recognizable to the true fans. Hey, Feline. That's the thing. If they would just stick to the original formula that has worked for decades, I think that's what Marvel did. They didn't capitalize on that great run of movies they had. You wanted to see Tony Stark in the iron suit, and then you go to the comic shop and you couldn't find it. Same thing with DC, though. DC's followed the same plan of not giving you really what you want or expect.
No,
I had an example of that.
You're absolutely right. I mean, if I had a movie coming out, let's say Mercenary Guild became a movie, you best be sure there'd be merchandise and
hey, Feline,
free comic book day type comics in every movie theater.
Right, exactly.
For people to buy and take off the rack.
I think at the Venom. I think the Venom movie, they had posters, but nobody, they were sitting there and nobody was there giving them out, so I got a dozen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take these home with me. Sure. Nobody wants them. 1 per person. I'll take all 15, whatever. I mean, I know they're going to be collectible, I enjoyed Venom.
I didn't hate
I came and
Venom
watched your movie.
I kind of like that Venom movie.
No, it wasn't bad, but the second one, I think they fell down on, and it's like, show us that you can be trustworthy and consistent. I mean, like I said, I got that Ray movie, and I was actually gone out of town at that time when I saw it. And I said, you know, it was kind of limited funds that I had on me. So it's like, should I get it here? Should I wait and get it in town? Blah, blah, blah. And I waited, and I actually bought it out of town, but I had to wait till I got back into town to actually watch it because, you know, I didn't have a player. And then profoundly disappointed. It's like, whoa, I'm going to start testing the waters on that. Like I said, it was an automatic buy. And now they've got like Harley Quinn in a series with a lot of lesbian type stuff. I don't want to see that. You know, that's just personal preference. But I'm tired of being let down.
No, it's fine.
And surprised. You know, like you were saying, Morb, about series that you weren't invested in. I gave the new Star Trek a try, even though Discovery I never gave a try and never want to give a try. But now I tried with the Pike series. I went through a whole season there. Nothing overly offensive in the thing or woke, I thought. But I'm not invested in the characters. They're cardboard. They're Mike Pence. They're Mike Pence, who was our vice president.
Like I tried to watch that new Star Trek movie, Section 31. I try to watch Section 31 of Star Trek. And then I have these old channels like Me TV and Heroes and Icons and stuff. And they were showing Deep Space Nine on one of those channels. And I'm like, I'm going to watch Deep Space Nine. I'm not watching this. I mean, they had kung fu and sword fights in the Star Trek movie. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so bad.
Hey, when they do an all Klingon musical, it's not the same Star Trek I grew up on. I was there for the original. Just saying. When they and I probably watched it in black and white because we didn't have a color set.
Some people will take a chance, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer did a musical. They did a musical show. And they forgot that really nobody on that cast could sing. You have to see it. It's fucking great. I love that show.
Taking a chance.
That episode was absolute dog shit.
Well, that show doesn't take itself too seriously.
Though, more.
What?
Yeah.
I said Buffy. That show didn't take itself.
No.
Can you guys hear me? That show didn't take itself as seriously as Star Trek. I mean, like Star Trek, if they wanted to do something like that, it would go into like the hologram, or they would find themselves in like a weird wormhole. It would time travel them or send them to an alternate universe.
There's ways to be innovative and do that type of stuff without totally being, you know, totally deconstructing what you're trying to do. You know,
you don't just derail
but you
your
also
whole
have
show
to have
for
people who can sing, and like Flash did it on the CW. They did it, but they had John Barrowman who could they're all
Broadway
sing.
They're all Broadway actors,
yeah. So and same thing with the guy who played the Flash. This guy can sing.
Yep,
this guy's talented. So okay, that works out, but. If you're going to have musical, just have people who Sarah Michelle Gellar can't sing.
Yeah. I mean, that almost makes it funnier, though.
I know. Oh, so. I was peeing my pants laughing.
So moving on from comic stuff, going to go through like some tabletop RPG news. And of course, we're consistently.
By the way, Rex, are you an RPG player? Or do you have a history of, you know?
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
D&D?
No, I mean, back in the day, I would sit in on like Dungeons and Dragons for like 6 hours. I wouldn't participate, but I would watch the games and I would watch others play. As far as gaming, I mean, I've got like I started out from the very advent of gaming, you know, with Atari and consoles from Sears and things like that. Very simple graphics. But yeah, I didn't keep with it. A lot of people do. I didn't. I think maybe the last gaming system I bought was, and this was after they were starting to phase it out and the new one was coming out. because the price goes down on them was maybe NES2, and later got some cartridges to go with it. Nah, not a big gamer. Just don't have the time. Too busy creating my comic book empire. And then I can't wait to see some people that started out at the same level, which is ground zero with me. And I look back and go, I did it. How about you? If you're still trying to get your book out, well, okay. How committed were you? How much time did you put into it? Were you off doing something else that didn't stay on brand, stay on target? I learned that from Star Wars for almost 50 years ago. Stay on target. Stay on target. I don't draw Batman. I don't draw other people's IPs. I don't draw their independent IP. Now, with that said, I'll take on special commissions every now and then. I'm going to be doing one of Omer Glitch's things. I'm going to be doing a cover for him, but that's kind of a courtesy, and I have respect for him and his IP. But for the most part, I concentrate on the Momentum universe. I don't have time to work on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to make time. I want to develop my own IPs, my own ideals. I want to find my own voice. With that said, we're going to be doing a John Buscema book next. The Art of John Buscema, showing you stuff from my collection. I do have an extensive collection of about 30,000 comics and original artwork. I've got the color separation to Avengers #4, which is, shouldn't even exist really, but it does. And I'm sort of the custodian of it right now.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that shortly.
Okay.
I think we've got like probably 3 or 4 more things we just want to cover and get out of the way, and then I want to dive into everything that you're working on. So yeah, but
okay.
To like William and I, and to Kyle to some extent, although Kyle doesn't know maybe as much about the history of D&D. If I'm wrong, just say fuck you.
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear what you say before I.
That's all I had to say. So like this kind of affects us.
There you go.
This affects us tabletop RPG fans, because Gary Gygax Jr. Ernie Gygax Jr. Gary Gygax was one of the founders and creators of Dungeons and Dragons. So I mean, his legacy is ridiculously influential in almost anything fantasy that you've ever heard of and know of today,
including Mercenary Guild,
including literally Hardly Heroes. So it's just for us. It's
I think Frank Frazetta had a massive. I think he had a massive influence, didn't he, on that early fantasy?
Absolutely,
his art, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. A crazy influence on all of the...
I mean, Tolkien had a huge influence. Conan.
Yeah. Tolkien,
King Arthur.
Yeah, Conan.
All those things had huge influences on Dungeons & Dragons.
I mean, in a way, you could say Roy Thomas had a big... Because Roy Thomas brought Conan over to Marvel, which really gave it exposure, for the very first time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've interviewed one of the early freelance artists for the original publishing company that they did Dungeons and Dragons through, so it's very near and dear to our hearts, and it's just kind of an end of an era. I
remember the early manuals, the hardback manuals that came out.
Yeah, well, this guy, he did. It's our first show, as a matter of fact, and Luke was on it.
Yeah, we've got the 4-part interview up there. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
He created, and this kid was in high school doing this art, and he created the Mind Flayer, like an iconic monster from Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
yeah,
this kid was in high school.
You're underscoring how iconic that is. It's crazy.
Yeah, so. Baldur's Gate 3 is about Mind Flayers. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, even today in Baldur's Gate 3, which is a massively successful video game, even for still being a turn-based combat RPG. I mean,
It's
it's
still
crazy.
people are still playing it. The Steam
Still
numbers are
playing it.
insane.
It's really fun. I mean, I'm going to go back at some point and play it again. It's I mean, I need to finish it really, but I'll probably do another run through since they've added like a bunch of mods and updates and character patches. They've been adding subclasses to all the major classes, all kinds of stuff. Um, but yeah, so that I mean, his influence lives on today. You know, his son was a. You guys can read the article if you'd like. Post it in chat, I guess. But it's just interesting. It goes through and talk about how his son was an early contributor, and they even had a local shop, and they would help each other, and it was really a family business, and like yeah, like what we're talking about is really like the essence of Western European English American history. The fantasy of like Tolkien and Legend of King Arthur, all of that is what shaped Dungeons and Dragons and the stuff that we do today. And it's you just look at like what like Wizards of the Coast is doing it and Hasbro is doing to Wizards of the Coast. It's just kind of sad that it's like these guys are dying off, and of course you have the usual suspects trying to go back and rewrite history and talk about
Gen Con was started by Gygax.
Gen Con was started by them.
That is the Comic-Con of tabletop role-playing games.
Yep. So, I just want to, I guess, pay respects to this guy because, a huge part of my childhood. I mean, probably most of us here. So, anyways,
now there was there were people that like turn on him for something, right? Like he became controversial somehow.
He was trying to get the TSR license, and he was creating something called Giant Lands, which I guess you can buy, which is unfinished. But apparently some people in this company said some things that were inflammatory to transgender people, and so they pegged Ernie Gygax as this racist.
Oh no! How dare you?
Yeah, they basically they're still doing it. When he died, they are trashing his name. They did the same thing with his father and said, well, he was really. They've done it actually in the new D&D books, saying that the people who are who this originated from don't reflect the views of people, and they were. I mean, they're basically him because Gygax and Arneson were the guys who created Dungeons and Dragons, and there were things in there that people through today's lens could look at as sexist or whatever, but it was what it was back then. They weren't trying to be, anything. They were just guys in their basement smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskey till 4 a.m, playing war games. And
like what we did.
They wanted to it was for everybody, and anybody who met Gygax or Arneson, anybody was welcome at their table. They were perfectly nice. And then now they're trying to paint Ernie Gygax because he was trying to create his own TSR, which is the original label of Dungeons and Dragons. It was TSR. It wasn't Wizards of the Coast. And immediately when he started to do that, it became racist. They went through his Reddit posts. They went through his Twitter. They went through like they do. And they just trashed the guy. And they're still trashing him now that he's dead.
Right.
They're glad that he's dead.
They're the real trolls. Well, yeah, they're like dancing on his grave, basically. I mean, metaphorically on the internet, so...
And these guys were not real racists. They weren't sexist. They weren't, they were just nerds, man, with Cheeto dust on their shirt, probably reading comics when they weren't playing games. The original nerds.
Right. Well, that's us now, right? Like we're the original nerds of our generations. I mean, That's why it's important to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we might not be as loud as those people, but
well, I mean, it's comics are an American art form. At least that's what I heard. I don't know that we would treat it with respect as its own art form.
We actually did create
when it started
comics.
out. It was looked at.
Comics are created from America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually
like
created.
Jazz music,
you can believe this. They used to have funny strips or comic strips, and at the end of a print run of a newspaper, they would have excess paper and ink, so they would just put these comics on the excess paper and ink. It was all waste material that they either couldn't or wouldn't use, and then they'd go out, put them in it, staple them together, and put them out and sell them for a nickel, and they'd make money.
Well, it was a way to keep the presses running. I used to work at a printing company, a very large one, in fact, World Color, that printed Marvel comics, and you got to keep those printing presses running 24 hours a day. It's amazing how many times the machine might break down and then have to be fixed, but they keep it running, no downtime. And they didn't want the ink to dry on the barrels, so they started doing strips for the paper and comics and big little books and things like that to keep the presses running. It's got a rich history, and it's got a sordid history, pay rates, slave system, if you will, with paying the creators way too much, and I mean not enough, rather, way too little.
Well, aren't we all?
I'm glad things have improved.
But apparently somebody from Ernie Gygax, when he set up TSR, said something inappropriate or something. It wasn't even him. And then they trashed Ernie Gygax for it, because Ernie Gygax wanted to take D&D away from Wizards of the Coast. He didn't like what's going on. I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
here come the woke tards, and
surprise, surprise, that when any giant corporation that wants to run something into the ground, a bunch of woke simps and white knights come to defend their milady, my giant corporation. Please, daddy, like, fuck me harder.
And it doesn't even matter that it's your dad's, it's your father's legacy that you helped build. He was very much instrumental in building Beyond.
No, people don't care.
Yeah,
they've people that you didn't even give us.
Just like if Stan Lee had a kid who wanted to make Spider-Man again.
Yeah, they would spit in his face. Yeah, of course, because that's what these people do. They're activists for the giant corporations they claim to hate. Like, it's so stupid. It's so weird. It's so, what a coincidence that, and most of them are bots. So I mean, I'm being sarcastic. There's really no coincidence that whenever some group, that shall not be named, has a problem with an original creator or like a family business, that all these random bots come out of the woodwork to shit on them and call them names and start rumors about them.
I don't know why the corporation's doing what they are. I mean, because DC and Marvel have never been in a healthy, they've been bought out time and time again, and it's amazing that they're just not totally dissolved, and they just don't use their backlog of 85 years or 90 years, 100 years, whatever comics that they've been doing. DC knows that. I mean, this is a brand new stand that they're putting in Dollar Trees right now. Right there's the actual stand, some of the actual books on it, 13 different books. There might be more titles, but that's all I found at my local store. They've even got an Ethan Van Sciver Green Lantern cover. And they're reprinting stuff from 2011 2016, 2017, the new 52 stuff, and the what is it? The rebirth,
and that's
stuff,
in the dollar store,
from years ago. So that's at the dollar store, and that's a good way to get things in time. But when I go to my local comic book shop, it's the same way. You got full covers. They're even taking those big charity editions and reprinting those. The reprints are outselling the new stuff. Go figure. And those giants are often dead.
Yeah.
Neil Adams dead, Gil Kane dead. All these all these great titans that grew up in Depression era times, and they eked a living out. Jack Kirby and those, and they went off to war and fought. If they didn't go off to World War II, they went off to Korea. They didn't go to Korea. Some of them might have even went to Vietnam. I mean, these guys knew.
I mean, just goes to show you. Well, it just goes to show you, like, we're literally like 80 years disconnected or 100 years disconnected from those people. Mm-hmm. So you shouldn't look at these people like the original creators at all.
I think
they're just a parasite.
Cycles. So I think it's going to come back around, especially with a lot of these things going in public demand in the next couple of decades. You're going to see retro come back in a big way. I mean, Star Wars, because people loved it. Why? It was retro. We had not seen a movie serial since Flash Gordon, and yet they tailor-made that after Flash Gordon. And in his mind, Lucas was going to do a one and done and get out. It was such a success. It charted the rest of his career.
Yeah, but so can you think of something throughout history that... Yeah, okay, but like, can you think of something? I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's not a modern era thing, like post World War II. There's very few things. There's a bunch of stuff in public domain. You can make stories out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you could make
available.
Right. You could make a Popeye cartoon.
Yeah, you can make a Popeye cartoon now. You can make
the first superhero. He was the first superhero in my mind.
You could make a Sherlock Holmes comic book, but
yeah. And Mike Barron did recently, and combined it with Captain Nemo. Brilliant. Zorro's in public domain.
Zorro's in public domain. You can do, but I mean, it doesn't seem like.
And I'll probably have Zorro in my westerns.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't seem like that. This is like a really modern phenomena where people are relying on IP from the last 50, 60, 80 years. I mean, if stuff goes in a public domain, I don't know if it's gonna matter.
Actually, Brian, I want to back that up, because this is the issue, and Kyle definitely backed me up, and same with you. If the actual creator is not involved, then it goes to shit. When it gets taken over by a corporation or a group of typewriting monkeys,
100%.
That's when it goes to shit. And when Stanley died, and when, Gene Roddenberry died, granted, Gene Roddenberry had people who did take Star Trek over, but when George Lucas sold out, it just seems like it's a continuing thing where even the original Conan movie was actually Krull's story. It was not Conan's story.
You can't Conan was give up on,
but it was good enough
on the fight for pop culture. The hard left knows that through pop culture,
we're not talking about giving up.
They can get their message out. Okay,
yeah, but Rex,
well, I'm just saying that
we're not talking about giving up. We're talking about
franchises
building. We're talking about just letting it die and building your own stuff.
It's like when you don't have somebody there holding the reins who actually fucking created it and cares, then that's when things go to shit. Now,
and
J.K. Rowling just cast a black guy who's supposed to be a hook-nosed white guy. But that's her choice. That's her choice.
Are you serious?
No.
Well, I got started.
So the guy, Alec Rickman's character, is going to be played by a black guy in the TV series, and many people are outraged about that. Now, if she wasn't involved, if J.K. Rowling was not involved, I'd say, yeah, this is typical. But she actually is involved, and she's green-lighted this. Okay, that's her choice.
She's
fans aren't going to like it, but
Yeah, what are you saying, Kyle?
I was saying she's well known for doing stuff like that.
There is
just
equality
like out of nowhere,
still in
she'll just be like,
but yet it's still the best place to live.
Not only that, but this character Snape supposedly gets hung by a tree. So in the stories, I never read Harry Potter. So how's that going to look? Like
phenomenal.
They're just not going to show that part. That part's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, like you said, it's you can directly tie that to her, and it's her decision. So if you don't like it, don't participate in it. Like Rex is saying, vote with your wallet. Do something else. My point. Sorry, Feline is saying something. How do I? I'll have to do it in YouTube.
Well, it's like if I build a sandcastle and I kick my own sandcastle down, then that's fine. But if someone else kicks it down, they're a jerk. That's kind of what it is. If you want to ruin your own creation, then go for it. You made it. But when someone else
I'd heard rumors about Gene Roddenberry, so they wanted to do Wrath of Khan, and he did not want that to happen. But for whatever reason, he didn't have control. And Wrath of Khan really was everything that resurrected Star Trek. I mean, because the movie was dog shit. The series was running out of steam. Wrath of Khan just brought everybody back in. And then when it came to the Next Generation, he didn't want to do that. And people talked him into it or whatever. And the Next Generation really catapulted the next generation of Star Trek with Deep Space Nine and all that stuff. So, I mean, sometimes the creator can have blinders on and they don't know what's good. But usually when the creator loses control or dies, that's when the property pretty much, and it goes into corporate hands, it dies as well. Does that make sense? Or
yeah,
I got crickets.
I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to give people the wrench.
Like James Bond has been out of the hands of Ian Fleming for many, many years, but it seems like a lot of its caretakers really understood and cared about Bond and wanted to, they understood the thing.
Yeah,
so they kept it going. Now
they've even got a marker on the island.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now 007 is going to be a black woman. Yeah, that
Who
franchise
knows?
has been dead ever since they cast it with the blonde.
Honestly, at
Bond,
that point in time,
blonde,
just take a gummy before the film, about 20 minutes, and just go in and laugh the fuck at it. Just
No, they're not going to get my ticket money. Nope. But
right.
I'll say this: when I get depressed, if I want to feel like a man, I don't take a gummy. I go and put in one of those 2.5 hour long Bond movies. Back in the day where they had an intermission, so you could go take a leak, get some popcorn, get a drink, and then come back and finish up the story. If you want testosterone driven, I think for men, there's those early Bond movies. It's it for me. If I want to feel good and I'm feeling a little down, I'll stick a Bond movie in because he can do anything. It's basically what people thought of Superman at one time, probably, like he can do anything. And that makes me feel good as a man. Now, women, maybe it's a different movie. Maybe it's a different franchise. But for me, it's James Bond. That guy can do anything. He can kick ass. He don't take the lip from anybody. That makes me feel good.
Well, just so you know, Rex, this is what you're defending. This is what you're like saying. I mean, I like this conversation, so I want to have a little bit of a debate. But like, this is the equivalent of what you're saying. Oh, culture. We still have to defend the culture that these people have taken over. This is another popular game that's owned by Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro. It's called Magic the Gathering, and I figured this was a good segue because like this is your typical idea for art style. It's literally just like some fat trans woman are like discuss, and and the interesting thing here is they actually made this person kind of look like a devil, so they are kind of telling on themselves here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ignore all this stuff. I just
Yeah.
want to show, the state of the art here. So it's like when this is what William and I
Right.
are talking about when we talk about no, stop trying to stand up for these people. Stop trying to say, oh well, maybe one day it's good. Just let it die. Like move on and build your own, which you are. We're going to talk about what you're working on. We'll do that after this because other than that, it's just other like Kickstarters and stuff we can talk about next time. But like this is a perfect example to me that embodies the just abject, shitty, disgusting people who work at these companies and like what they want us to subsidize really, because it's not like you're buying it because you care about it, you're subsidizing it because these people are losers. But this is the state of like Star Wars and Disney and D&D through Wizards and Magic through Wizards and like all of the stuff that we're talking about, all the IPs, Marvel, DC. This is where William and I, we just walk away. We're not like, okay, well, yeah, it's a part of American culture, it's Americana, but you know, other people have taken over. So unless you're gonna pull like an Elon Musk and you're gonna walk into Wizards and be like, okay, I'm buying this back from you, Hasbro, for like, $20 billion, and I'm gonna do what I want with it. Like we as individuals, we all we can do is collectively watch them burn and watch them go bankrupt, and then yeah, hopefully, maybe it will be a good thing that their stuff goes into public domains because they can't just leech off of those characters and those stories and the IP anymore. It's something that the public can take, and then we can make our own stories with those characters if we want, and then we could pick and choose and say, "Oh, I like that version of King Arthur. I like that version of Zora. I like that version of Batman and Superman, etc."
Or Conan or whatever.
Yeah, or
like they're doing at Titan Comics right now. Conan is rocking and rolling. If you want new comics,
but I'll propose an alternative option that.
They've got multiple titles out there.
Yeah, but you know what takes a lot more work, but in the end, like you can actually build the culture up and you can like build your own dynasty and your own empire. Is create your own stuff. Like make your own culture. Don't just still rely on existing culture, because you're kind of talking out of two sides of your mouth. You're saying like, yeah, we should do our own stuff and do this, but let's still follow what these people are doing. Let's still like compare ourselves to these people who are like completely fucking fat losers.
I mean, Brian, that I wish to God you could have existed when Rex and I did, and I don't mean to put it down or whatever, but when we got to see Alien for the first time, or Darth Vader for the first time, or Predator for the first time, I mean, I sat through Predator going, what does this thing look? What is this thing? And I sat there and it's like, oh, you one ugly mother. I was right with Schwarzenegger when he said that. You're one ugly mother.
Yeah.
And the thing is that all this stuff was fresh and new. E.T., Indiana Jones. Yes, they borrowed from tropes from the past, Star Wars stuff, but it was completely new and it was cool. And we took it for granted because everything was new, even in the 90s, you know, with what you guys grew up with. It was all new. It was all new. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was new. It was, Power Rangers was new. All this shit was new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like when you guys had that new stuff, it was, it was an experience of a lifetime.
It was
I mean, the way you guys talk about it, but that was 50 years ago.
It was historical. You tell me another movie that ran for 2 years at some theaters. Star Wars. It was like the D-Day landing, if you think about it. There'll never be another massive landing of troops like there was on D-Day. Never again. And there'll never be, with all the streaming services, and we've moved on. We've progressed. there'll never be another 2 years of Star Wars in the theater where people they'll want to go to disc. They'll want to go to
even in '93
Godzilla
when
Minus One
Jurassic
is
Park
another
came
great
out.
example.
Jurassic
really
Park
strung that out.
Jurassic Park was like a year in the theaters, and this was '94.
Yeah, that was me for
That
Jurassic.
was epic, and that was your time. That
was right, but I don't have this like I don't. It's 2025. I'm not living in the 90s. I'll never go back to that. I can appreciate what it is. I mean, look, I'm going back and watching old movies. Like my wife and I just started watching Braveheart the other day, and it's great.
Seen it.
Huh?
You never seen Braveheart, really?
Yeah, I have. I'm saying we're going back to watch it. I don't think she has because she's not.
I think it's a modern day classic made in 1985, and now they're doing a Braveheart 25 years later, picking up the Robert the Bruce story. I don't think they need to do that, but they're coming out with a second Braveheart movie.
Right, but just like I can go back and watch things from that time, even though I wasn't born, I could experience what it was like to see a movie from 1985. I agree. Like just for the same reason I study I've read the King Arthur books. I wasn't alive for the time of King Arthur. Like I wasn't, I enjoy Lord of the Rings. I wasn't alive during World War I when Tolkien was around. Like you can go back and research the Roman Empire, but I don't fantasize about living in that time. Like I do what I can now for the culture that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like I don't.
Right, but the culture we have now
Wars, if you look
is
at
not producing new shit.
Right. That's our job,
and that's
so
our job.
We have to get off our fucking ass and do it. But you cannot. You can only do it if you.
I don't think
do it. So that's all.
For the first 25 years, I don't think the history books for the first 25 years of the new millennial and in 2020 in the 21st century, I don't think it's going to treat this time. They're going to say, what were they out of their effing minds? What were they thinking? We have made some bad decisions in this new century thus far, and hopefully we can turn it around.
Insulting your customer base,
Yeah, where is that a good idea?
Yeah, don't know. But so Brian, I guess I don't know if I came across. So like when I was growing up, I never really looked at older movies, and I did later on in life, but I didn't even want that. I loved what we had. And they were bangers, 25 to however many bangers every fucking year of movies. Like you could go to the movie every damn week and find something cool to watch. And now we might get
Marv, I got a question for you, and this is serious, and you got to answer it now. Goonies or Monster Squad? Tell me now.
Which what? Goonies or Monster Squad?
Goonies or Monster Squad? If you only had one. He's gonna
I have to go with Monster Squad.
No! We're friends for life. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm glad that was settled.
You got to see Monster Squad. It brings in
the thing is that Goonies has one-eyed Willie, and my name is Willie, and I have one eye. So I'd fucking that immediately is torture.
You relate.
Emotional damage.
So I don't like that movie. I think I have it on DVD. But,
I don't either,
Monster
but if
Squad,
you say that, they want to burn you in effigy.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? Lost Boys or Fright Night? I don't know.
Oh God, that's a harder one.
I know I don't even think I can.
I went and watched both and enjoyed both. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think I fucked up the stream for YouTube.
Why? What'd you do?
Why? It's still going.
Is it?
Rex knows
don't
things.
Hit the end button.
I didn't end it. I changed the settings slightly, but it said lives unavailable, so I don't know what's happening now. Even though it says clearly we're checked.
All right, well, let me see if we're running.
I think we're still running. We should be.
Continue to YouTube. That's weird.
All right, I'll mute my mic. Hold on.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I'm trying to it disabled the chat? What the fuck? Something's wrong.
Okay.
I'm trying to fix
We're up.
But
We're going.
still going.
We're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going.
Okay. I might just have to
up.
Okay. Hey, some person, do you have a wrench? You have a wrench, so you're good. Flying feline.
But that might not do him any good if you disabled the chat. I don't know what you did.
Hey, and Flying Feline, thank you for the compliment on the pics, and I can get Luke some out if he would return a text message from me and just give me his address or somewhere where to ship them. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if Luke's mad at me or not. I hope he's not.
Feline, I'll get it settled.
We'll figure it out.
Or I'll just send a shitload out to Brian.
Yeah, you can send them to me. I'll give them to him.
I'll send you 100 or so.
We're basically in the
same
if
city. You're trying to communicate with Luke on X, he doesn't always check X, that often. I can attest to that.
No, anyways, my phone could be fucked up too. I got like a cracked screen and shit like that. I'm trying to keep it together. I got duct tape and crazy glue and
oh god,
yeah. I'm old school,
and
man.
I thought mine was bad.
I know.
So let's check out Devil Flyer.
Boom, boom. Drum roll, please.
Can you hear that?
I could, yeah.
Perfect. Here, I got some music, some sensual background music we can put on while we talk about this.
It's not like porno music, is it?
It's daydreaming music.
Here we go.
Would you prefer night driving? How about this?
Feed the ducks.
Oh no, that's
night driving is what Kyle needs to finish a comic, 20 pages. Like.
It's not.
All right, this one's nice. All right, so let's take a look at Devil Flyer. Rex, why don't you tell us a little about your book for the viewers at home, and we watched the trailer too. But why don't you give us the overview of this awesome looking book that you got on Fund My Comic?
Well, actually, Devil Flyer is a long time work, passion of mine. I've employed about 22 different people on this thing in some aspect of it. He's basically a character I created in 2017. So not my oldest character by any means. But he's kind of a linchpin, a starting point in revealing something bigger, which is my Momentum universe, which is my answer to Marvel or DC or any other independent out there, anybody doing comics. And it's kind of my take on it. He's a guy out of time, and he's kind of like, I always looked at him as like my Doctor Strange Spawn-like character. He is kind of a mashup character.
I can see the influence of Doctor Strange and what am I thinking of? It's World War II superhero. He's got a jetpack.
Oh gosh, that's not Adam Strange, is it, that you're thinking of?
No, he's not a DC character.
Or Rocketeer.
Rocketeer. Yeah.
Rocketeer.
Looks like a.
Yeah.
But this guy looks cooler.
Oh yeah, with the helmet and everything. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Yondu, that was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He kind of had like a mohawk in the second movie. He was the archer. That's where I came up with the Finn, and actually he wasn't the first one I did. In 1993, I created Sea Demon, which is kind of like my, and you'll see Sea Demon in the next issue, and you'll see him on this campaign as far as a a trading card artwork, a fan trading card artwork. But yeah, the fin was kind of that. He's got a devil's tail that was kind of after Nightcrawler from the X-Men. He's got wings like Hawkman. He's just kind of a mashup character that I created back in 2017, and
nice.
Talked to a friend and said, "Would you like to do a story?" And he said, "Yeah." So we did the story, and I said, "Well, it needs some backup stories." So then I started, getting busy introducing all these other characters that you see down there. There's 14 characters there on the John Dillard cover, including Devil Flyer. Designed the cover out with him. I like burst through covers, and I thought it would be cool if he's kind of burning through with the cinders and stuff. And I think everybody's really loves this cover. I think it's awesome cover for a comic book, for a first time comic book.
Absolutely.
It grabs your attention, and you hire a good artist like Luke or John to do your work. You're going to get eyes on your project.
I like the font.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the cover.
Yeah, John Fernandez. I've known him since 1982. He designed that. But now see John Dillard, he put it side by side. It was stacked, the original logo. Nice. Like on my ash can here. You can see on my ash can it was a stacked logo.
Oh,
and then
cool.
he kind of put it side by side and jazzed it up a little bit. And yeah. He liked the logo. Nothing wrong with the logo. That guy's been a designer for well over 40 years.
Is this the same John Dillard that's doing the Flash, the Yellow Flash YouTuber book? Nice.
Yep.
So his cover for you looks way better. I mean, no offense to him, but his cover for you looks way better than his some of the work I've seen for that Yellow Flash book.
Yellow Flash, yeah.
Which I like because he obviously is a talented artist. So it's like you like it seems like probably unlike what happened with that guy is like you have a vision for actual what you actually want, and so you're like, hey, I want a cool cover, him bursting through the seam. That's a like classic comic, and then you get a little look into like either his rogues gallery or like some of the other characters you're good to see in the universe. So I just like the design of that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
also look at Brian with the comic knowledge. Look at Brian.
I'm learning a little something.
Dude,
something.
You impressed me on that one. I didn't know that.
That's what I get for lurking. I lurk in all these.
Look at the big brain on Brian.
Oh man, I went to college, so I know something.
He's one of my main artists. I haven't utilized him as much as I'm going to. Hopefully, he did the main cover. He did my content page or credit, and you'll see that on the campaign. It's kind of my credit page. The thing with John, he's so good. You got to kind of figure out creative ways to reuse his art. This is John Fernandez, who's my friend of over 40 years. I've known him since he's known me since I was 16 years old and doing homemade comics. We've always had a love for comics. He was a comic creator from the early 60s, late 50s. He's one of the older creators out there. I think he's about 72 now.
See, we're aside from my random knowledge, we're asking the questions you want to hear at home, folks, because we are fresh viewers. So this is cool. I like
here you can kind of see the Spawn influence with the green energy,
Oh yeah, okay.
With the wings and the trident.
I got some of that in my gig.
Makes sense. I'm just gonna keep scrolling through.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is the Jimmy Reyes cover that we revealed a few weeks ago. Also colored by John Dillard. Only had one. He did such a bang up job. Only had one criticism of it, and he fixed it for me. I wanted the villain's face darked out more. So that the hand would jut forward more. And he is a man of the shadows. So
that's funny. This is kind of like similar to our issue. Well, really only the hand with the strings coming down off of it. But I like the kind of homage to Daredevil, obviously. And then, there's probably Batman and a handful of other... crouching over the city. That's cool.
Yeah, Jimmy, he can do some incredible inks.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have him. Do. Well, we talked to him at some point doing a cover. I think for issue 3. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's cool.
I go ahead and get on that because I don't know if he's going to be around much longer. Yeah, he's been kind of controversial,
Oh, okay. I did hear about that. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you try to be a comic artist and you don't contact a publisher like Shattermare Comics. Okay, people. You just take a book out of Jimmy and take a book out of William and see who's going to launch their book completely and see who's not. That's all I have to say.
Actually, I want to address that just to clear up anything in case Jimmy's watching or anybody else. Okay. We were going to release my comic as a graphic novel.
Yeah.
But we end up splitting it into 3 issues. And for the cover that we had in mind, it would not make sense for Jimmy to do a cover at issue 1 or 2.
Right.
So
it would be
we would consider him for issue 3 because that's when the thing on the cover would actually have context. So that is why I've not been in touch with you. It's nothing against you personally or anything or against anything. I love your work. It's just that it doesn't fit our cover 1. It wouldn't make sense in context with what's
I've actually had a creator who's kind of dropped out of the scene. He works out in Hollywood. He's a lighter for movies. And they were on strike at the time. And he kind of went into comics, did a comic. And for Field, And I actually had him do some work for me. I was glad that I got the work done and he'll probably be back at some point. He went through some emotional stuff. So you never know. If you like an artist, you got to hit them up and say, hey, would you do something for me? Because I've had one colorist while I've worked on this project pass away. He never got to work on the project because he passed away and he was in his 30s.
That's too bad.
So, and there's been another logo artist out of the Zevius that I knew that I probably would have had. He did all the Cyberfrog logos. He did one on Weaponized Werewolf for Justin Belmont. He passed away. Struggled.
Well, if you want links to a good colorist, we got one, and it's W. Frank Walk.
Well,
he's looking for a good colorist.
Before we move on, let me just address. Obviously, I'm being facetious. when I said that I'm making a shameless plug for my company, the way I look at all that drama bullshit is basically, do I like your work and do I want to work with you? And Jimmy is that kind of guy. So whatever people are saying, that's a totally separate issue. If you're a professional artist and I can work with you and I hire you and I pay you for a gig and you come back and you do the art, we're cool. If they, if he has issues with a book he's doing or whatever, and honestly, I don't know all the details. I just know there was controversy because he had to go back, and I think he made a color book. He had to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm going to only release this in black and white." Whatever. That's his responsibility. I'm sure he's already trying to figure out how to, fix that or move on, whatever, because that's kind of old news anyways. But if you're an artist and you did good work and we work with you, that's all that really matters to me. So
we don't care about drama.
Yeah, we don't care about drama. Obviously,
we just want
quality.
Make our
own.
That's it. We want quality, and we want good value for our money.
Yeah, and he's a great artist. And
well, like this, I had a wonderful cover designed. Designed it with John Dillard, and he knows to ask the question: where's the lighting source? Is this a mask? Is it metal? I mean, he with the Jimmy Reyes cover, he knew that it had multiple light sources. He knew if something was off in the drawing. He came up with the idea of putting the cover as night, and the back of the cover was actually based on a Golden Age All Winter Squad number 19 cover, where it was a puppet master type guy. We kind of changed that up a little bit. But yeah, you use great artwork in multiple different ways. You get the rights to do that, hopefully. And here is the artist edition in black and white. If we earn a little bit more, we'll put a little plastic, book, what do you call it, book cover on it. Acetate, clear acetate,
like a sleeve.
Like a sleeve, yeah, with just the logo printed on there to protect the hardback edition. I'm stretching myself. This is the back cover to the B cover, and then this will be colored by Tank Ferret in the red and burgundy outfit for the red and burgundy. So you'll see the same thing colored two different ways for the back cover. We have a blank sketch cover there for people that like to draw, and this will be my artist friend John Flandes drew an actual size of a comic book. So we really had to blow it up to give it that epic feel. So that's the only reason why it's really European size, why it's magazine size. If people like that format, we'll keep Devil Flyer magazine size. Because I hate this switching back and forth. That was something Ninja Turtles did very early on. They had more of a traditional size number 1, then they went to magazine size, then they went down sort of halfway with number 3. They were back and forth, up and down. They were all the early ones were different format till they finally went, just did a regular size comic.
Looks like a great campaign. Everybody back it, man. Get on this shit. I mean, Rex can bang out daily. He can draw something in an hour and a half better than it would take me a week.
I did this on Topic List last night. Yeah. This is something we added to the campaign. This is the Bog Pog artwork. And then if anybody backs the big bundle, they'll get this actual artwork.
Oh, that t-shirt's badass.
Pog. Remember Pogs from the 80s?
I remember Pogs.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was a little old to play them, but I kind of still
4 o'clock
did.
Shadowhawk t-shirt, and then cover A there on t-shirt. Can't wait to get those in. I'm gonna order.
Dude, that t-shirt, that Devil Flyer t-shirt is banging.
So I have a question. So are you so you're doing all the interiors, but you aren't doing any of the covers, is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay. What's the
I haven't done a cover. No, I haven't done a cover. John, my friend, did a cover, and then John Dillard I commissioned to do a cover, and then I wanted a big professional name associated with it, so I got Jimmy Reyes to do the C cover. Adding a blank cover for people who like to draw was kind of like a note, and giving them a $5 price break. I did some of the trading card artwork. I'm writing all the stories. I thumbnail out every story and tell the artist what I want. And I've been doing that over the last 3 years. Kind of like this Midnight and the Roustabouts drawn interior there on the right. That my first Western character. I told him I wanted, Midnight back to back. I want a young Midnight, and I want a Midnight that's around 60 years old, because I'm going to tell her story in 2 different timelines. And then I want dream catchers in the corner, you know, and then we'll put the people that purchased the drawn-in tier in the dream catchers, and that's what we did.
Nice.
So I give him the rough idea, and then he goes execute it, and I give him yay or nay, you know, which he's so good. He just banged it out. It's spot on. And then we had an extra spot, and I said, and it was his suggestion, well, let's put her horse there. I thought it was brilliant. You get the first look at the gray Appaloosa horse that she rides around on. She's kind of a lot like Batman, because her little pom-pom Spanish hat has special features to it. It's kind of her utility belt, you know. It's got a flash grenade, a smoke grenade, an iron ball for throwing at people. You know, she's a chemist. There's the new.
So is it like it?
There's the new trading cards, the new sticker book, which will have a special 6 a.m. sticker.
Oh, nice.
Free domestic shipping on the new items, except for the Art of Devil Flyer, which is going to be a thick book. It's going to be 60 pages, and it's going to have a special 10 years of Bog. That was a happy coincidence. I've been drawing Bog, which was, I did that trading card artwork there. That is one of the head sketches. Everybody gets a free 4x6 head sketch of one of my characters. It is if you buy the big tier, you get 2 head sketches, and I do have a stretch goal where you can possibly get up to 3 pieces of original, and there'll be all 3 different characters. So yeah, I've contributed artwork to this, and I made all these, you know, the logos and the names and everything, and cropped them and sized them and everything to make trading cards. So I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work. I ain't got a guitar
picks.
Not yet.
Yep. Maybe on the next campaign we'll do guitar picks if I've got a musical
piece of cake.
I you know, you're already doing it, so that wouldn't work.
No, we're the first.
Well,
I don't know if we're the first.
no, you're not.
We're the first.
Oh, you're not the first. Okay,
well,
you're.
I'm going to say we're the first.
We're very proud of it.
We'll go.
Okay.
So that girl with the pom pom, is that?
There you go.
Do you remember that old Globetrotters cartoon when they were with Scooby Doo, and they have like Goots has that afro that they can pull anything out of, so they're like, we need 11 surfboards. It's like, no problem, and he just pulls like 11 surfboards out of his fro. Is it kind of like she can just pull anything out of the pom pom?
Well, she's a chemist. She's a girl. She's a lady that was a young lady that's educated in the East, sent to the East to be educated, because that's what you did in the Old West. If you wanted a better education, you had to send your children east. So her mom and dad are little people means. They run a newspaper called the Midnight Gazette, named after their daughter, because her middle name is Midnight. Brittany Midnight Summers, I believe, is her name.
That's cool.
And she was also educated in Cambridge in the sciences and stuff, so she knows chemistry, and she comes up with all this, you know, that flash grenade and different things. So it's kind of like a utility belt on her hat. She returns home, and her parents have been, like Batman, brutally tortured and killed. They have a horse waiting on her. They have her outfit, riding outfit and everything there. The whip that she used was the whip that killed her parents. So she's got a story arc already built into her character.
That's awesome.
Got a lot like Batman. I really wasn't thinking Batman. I'm not that big a Batman fan. I'm not against Batman, but he's just not my favorite character, you know. But she has no superpowers, but she does have a mind, and she is quite clever. And she does get to time travel, you know, eventually. But very excited about my first Western character. My next thing with her is going to be a short story, and then we'll told in her future. And I've got scheduled to do a pulp. Remember pulps that had the shadow and Doc
Shadow's great.
Savage, and other characters like that kind of inspired comic books. We're going to do a combination 150 page or somewhere abouts pulp book, because as a writer, it's like I can write this stuff quicker than I can get artists to work on different sequential work. So what we'll do is we'll put like a 16 page or something like that comic book story in the middle of a pulp. I don't know that that's ever been done before. And we'll have title artwork, of course, and it'll probably be Jay Kreger, who's also working on a Midnight in the Roustabouts logo for me this week. And when he gets it done, I'll put that up on the campaign. So that'll be newly added to the campaign. I've been having a time just creating these, seeing my artwork and cropping it, putting the names of my characters down on cards. We got a 9 card set, basically 10, because there's one secret mystery card that's in there, making it a 10. We went with 9 because 9 goes in a pocket, right?
I didn't know that. So.
Just having in a binder. Here's the artwork done by Dionysus. He went to Joe Kubert's school for a year, and so he's got some really good experience. Look at this creative team. I've got at least 22 people there that I've hired to do something on this project.
So
who in CG or any other movement is hiring that many people to work on their project? Nobody.
Well,
I'll answer it.
Let me
we
ask you.
We are.
Let me ask you a
Are
question.
you? Okay.
Well.
We hire a ton of people. Yeah. I mean, if you include like, not for Mercenary Guild, but I mean, I do across different projects.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Wow, go scroll back down. What's that armored flyer?
This guy.
What's that?
Well, you'll get your first look at him on a 2-page spread. He's which is alluding to the next issue. That's who Devil Flyer will be fighting. One of 2 things that he'll be fighting in the next Devil Flyer story.
Chad's back. I fixed it. I fixed my fuck up.
Yay! Chad's back.
Well, we were still going on YouTube. I didn't know that the chat
We're
was
still
and I
going.
bet you I don't have a wrench.
Yeah.
I bet I don't have a wrench.
Well,
don't touch a thing. You'll mess it up.
I'm good. 15.
Yeah, I'm not touching anything. Yeah, we're doing good. We actually got more viewers.
I designed the armor flyer and gave it to a competent, artist that I knew could do metallic surfaces.
That would make such a cool mini
cover for me, and I knew he could.
Yeah, we gotta talk to you about maybe doing some I've got some people that we're working with on sculpture stuff that can do custom sculptures and 3D modeling.
That would be a cool fucking statue.
Oh, also
there. I would
night,
buy
Kyle.
that right now.
Somebody.
Yeah, Kyle's got his obligatory curfew at 10:30.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't say goodbye, but he's the best color man in the business. I mean, he really is.
And a good colorist is hard to come by. I've had some bad experience with colorists.
William, you're giving him fake accolades.
if you know
you never saw the movie Major League, you'll get it.
Oh, I see. I thought
he's not the best color man in the business, and the guy doesn't say anything.
Oh, gotcha. But I took you're talking about comics though, so I took you literally.
Well, John Dillard hasn't been coloring digitally for I'd say about a year and a half, but he knows how to color because he knows.
Yeah, no, we're
knows those essential things.
We're all confusing each other with inside jokes and meta references. I think it's okay.
Cal just drops off. He's a great guy. He's a great.
No, you're good. William and I
love the guy.
William and I will riff on top of riffs. So it's not good. This is cool. So I have a question for you, Rex, because I have a question for you because we're anyone can chill a comic, right? Like anyone can talk about like a Fund My Comic. Like what do you think is something that stands out above other books or campaigns? Like what's something that you want to highlight about Devil Flyer? For the folks at home, the viewers listening now, like maybe like I don't know, 2 or 3 things that you're like, I really enjoyed working on when I was working on this book. Like stuff that you like a page or 2 that you really enjoyed drawing, something like that.
Well, I did the original Devil Flyer story. It took me about 8 hours. I wasn't even trying to tell that original story. There's a bank robbery that leads to, that's the trope in itself. But that 2-page spread you just passed up right there, which is quite complex, alludes to his origin. That's the closest you get to his origin. But just a little, just the pacing. I enjoyed working with John, just, getting something realized, and then getting the first ash can. I pivoted instead of releasing. I think it was a good move, instead of just releasing the Devil Flyer story into its own 30-something page book, because it is a 29-page story. I said, let's wait on it. Let's put this in the closet and let's add to it. And I think that was a good, let's build my YouTube channel. Let's build my audience. Let's build interest in this. And I think it's worked. I think there is interest where if I would have just released what I had, which was already finished, I'd had nothing after that. I'd had to start back at 0 again. So I did these drawings here, like Dead Ninja. I did that drawing. I did Sargasso. I did that like 3 years ago. Okay. That's what I started out doing, was making trading card art for the campaign that wasn't even up yet. I wasn't even on YouTube yet, but I was creating these Blood Dragon and Kill Dragon. I was creating card artwork for a future campaign. Sand Devil. That's that's owned by Red Valkyrie. She bought nice. Original artwork.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to interject real quick. Something that I like that you've got set up here is that you're taking good advantage of Fund My Comic. Like I won't tell you how much we pay a year for website fees for stupid Squarespace, but being able to use Fund My Comic as more of a storefront than just a crowdfunding campaign, because there's a handful of platforms now that you can use this for crowdfunding, but like having some of the pulps up here that you have, having all the different cards, and like building out. I mean, this is coming from the more business marketing publishing side, but it's important because we have viewers and people listen and watch at home, and they're like, oh well, maybe I want to get involved in indie comics or learn more about the creative process. So it's nice that you've got this stuff here going, so you can build, like I said, you can build out your brand. You can offer, oh look, here's a new character I've been working on, or introduce, like, here's an idea for a pulp that I had, and maybe it ties into the main universe, maybe not. You'll have to find out. But just having this set up as a storefront, I really like, so that you can continue to build upon that. That's nice. So, and obviously it's,
and on Indiegogo, it can go in demand, so as long as you continue to self-view, you can keep it up there,
Right. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and everyone needs to support this cute little guy. So
I think that having a website is another great avenue. I think you need to explore all those avenues. That hasn't happened for me yet, but I will, have a website at some point, hopefully later this year.
Shattermare can publish you for the low retail price
of whatever you want to list it for.
Okay, that's not going to happen, because I'm happy
buy
with
Abby
my
the
own
dog
IP,
a coffee,
which is Momentum Comics.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, maybe on the next campaign, but buy our meal. Buy our meal.
So Momentum is the publisher you've created for Devil Flyer.
Exactly, just like Marvel or DC, you know,
Cool.
I had to have a company name, so it's like Momentum Comics. And Zigzag, that was toward the bottom, the Speedster, he's kind of like our mascot for the company.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's
But
the
now
same.
he
We
is
think.
an actual comic character.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people are like, oh well, I'm gonna come out with something. What do I do? If I'm self-publishing, you just create your own publishing company or your imprint. Create your own imprint, because that's what we did. We just came out with one comic book, and we're like, well, what do we? We're not. It's not like we're gonna go pay $5,000 to Image or whatever the fee is now. It might be lower.
I think Shattermare should immediately, since you've got a backlog. See, I don't have a backlog of stuff. I've got an Ashcan campaign that's still up on Indiegogo. That's the only book I produced up to this time. We're hoping to fulfill this book with all the tchotchkes. We got a glow in the dark or not glow in the dark. It's black light reactive tapestry. We got a acrylic standee, but it is, and we've added a lot more different things. But it is more about the books and the story we're telling. With Shattermare, I think they need to take a page from what Silverline Comics is doing over there on Fund My Comic, and put your backlog of books up there on a campaign where people can do a catch-up tier in bundles and get these books that you've already got published, even if they're second printings. Arrow Comics, Randy Zimmerman, a friend of mine, is talking about doing the same thing here pretty soon up on Fund My Comic.
That's an interesting idea.
That's a good idea.
Luke Stone wants it to be a
of course he wants it.
Sort of storefront, for people.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
If you've got a backlog, put them up there.
Maybe we could do that as we do Hardly Heroes issue 10. Do the Kickstarter and then do the Fund My Comic as a way, because we've got them on the website, but some people, it's weird, they would rather just not go to you direct. Like if I find something, even if it's like a Kickstarter and a website, I'll just go to their website. But some people are just like, yeah, I'll just hang out on the crowdfunding platform or whatever. So it's
and
just
you'll find even in crowdfunding, it's
audience.
like, I only do Kickstarter, or I do Indiegogo, or
and folks, like right now,
it's going to take.
Yeah, some people are married to like one or two.
Right now, we only have the Indiegogo going, but I commissioned a oil painting of a Conan. Homage cover that's going to be on Kickstarter or whatever. But you can definitely, when the campaign ends or whatever happens, go on Shattermare and get all the covers you want. I think we did four covers.
Yeah, in total we're gonna have 4.
We did 4 covers. Right now on Indiegogo, you can get 2.
You just get 1. Well, yeah, you get the cover A and then the Indiegogo exclusive.
Yeah.
So,
but we are going to have exclusives to the other campaigns as well. But if that passes you by, you can still go to Shattermare.com and get whatever cover you want. Because I'm really proud of. I loved how that Conan cover came out. That was hot.
Yeah, there. I'm a mod. I just posted our link in the chat. There you go. I'm a mod now, mommy. Look
recently
at me.
Had a boost. We're almost up to our next stretch goal, which will be at $4,000, and then you'll get 2 new trading cards if we hit $4,000. Cool. Right now, we're just under that at $39.29.
How do you decide? How do you decide how far you want to go for your stretch goals? Like I'm thinking for Mercenary Guild, since we did funding goals, we do like 1,000, so like double it. So like we go from 500 to 1,000, but that's just kind of like an arbitrary number I picked.
I think I think you kind of have to determine that interest and whatnot, and it's like it's different for every campaign. I think I put mine at like 500 increments.
Okay. I mean, that's obviously worked out
first. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's worked well for you.
I worked with an admin that was actually could put up and get, had final approval on campaigns. On Fund My Comic. Obviously, you can't have that on Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
So you worked with one of the team members behind Fund My Comic?
Yes. To put up the campaign a year ago, and then this time I just basically see, you're tech savvy, so I had to get somebody to help me, make cards and put stuff up on the campaign and stuff, and kind of direct my action because I'm not a big computer guy. And so Omer Glitch kind of helped me out, just somebody that met through my channel and has been watching the channel for a long time, and that's recently came on the scene. And
well, that's an important thing not to just gloss over. Like, if you can work with one of the people, and that's the great thing about Fund My Comic. Like, I'll give Luke another shout out. Luke Stone, not
absolutely
Death Metal Hero Luke, just because they're a smaller company, and so you can actually get a hold of somebody there. You can message them on
they're more hands on. Absolutely, if you've got a problem, they'll address it. They'll address it quick.
Yeah, it's a big deal because, like, you reach out to someone at Indiegogo or Kickstarter, like, you're just gonna get a support ticket email. Like, you're not gonna get really somebody, and who knows if
I'm saving money over on Fund My Comic too. They only charging 2%, 2%, as opposed to like 7% over on Indiegogo. That's a saving of a lot of money.
It's more than that. It used to be 7%, but yeah. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh, okay.
It's,
okay. Used to be 7%. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, they've gone up.
That. Okay.
Yeah, that's
and the thing of it is, you can set it up like you want. Like, I needed the money. I turned around and took that $2,500 or whatever, and I had new artwork. That Shattered Reality piece done by John, that Modern Day Mummy done by George. That I had 4 different pieces put up there because I wanted to put some more artwork up on the campaign, some fresh new artwork. And that's going to go in the book or be produced into something. And so I was able to set it up to get paid 5 days after it came in, and I get paid like, as the money comes in. I've already, the money that I earned recently, and we got up to like 3,900 from 3,600. I took some of that money and got to an artist today to do me a logo that's going to go up on the campaign, which I can use in the future. Logos are important. I didn't have a Devil Flyer logo. I had nothing. I had to start out with nothing. Fortunately, I got together with my friend John, who has done this stuff professionally for other clients for well over 40 years, and he came up with a great logo and something that was even tweaked by another artist later and put side by side and done in different iterations. If you work with good people, they can help advance your project for you.
That was big with me
on your own.
I actually drew my logo in red, and Luke on a stream. I can't remember which stream it was.
Luke did you a solid on the logo. Your logo looks great.
Oh yeah. I mean, I drew the general shape of it, and then he went through, and I think it might have been on your stream or whatever. But he went through the iterations. Like, you have this choice. There was 3 different things. There was what I drew, which is, I was embarrassed of, but I drew it, and I spent 2 hours on it with a ruler and shit. It's embarrassing. God, I envy you artists so much. But then he got to this.
I got a trailer made, and then I got
William
a trailer
finish.
made, a very simple trailer made for the
so
ad.
I wanted it.
Rex, hold on. Rex, hold on. Let William finish the story.
Yeah, so I wanted my logo like Ferrari red, against kind of a dark cover, and then Luke went for the let's make it molten iron.
Yeah, man.
And he came up with the font, he got what I was doing. He had two different choices. I went with the choice that I enjoyed, and let me tell you something. With these guitar picks and the T-shirt we're going to come out with, and we can do beanie hats. I definitely want to do those. We're
beanie hats. Wow.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the logo, and that pops. And that's something
you should be. It looks great.
Yeah,
and that's the beginning of a great brand. You know that, and I love the Shattermare icon as well. You know, for a company, it's very eye-catching, very professional looking.
Yeah, it's
I started. I'd had a logo made for the ash can, and then we pivoted and used that same animation in a different way for this trailer. So you kind of have to use and reuse things. Think about that for the future.
But Luke took Luke, and this is the great thing about working with Luke, is that I don't have a comic script that's common. In fact, when it came to the lettering, I had to rewrite it for Eric Weathers so he could letter it. So I wrote it from a novelized version to a comic version, and Luke understood what I was getting at, and he could visualize what I was saying, and he could make it
that's
pop.
What a good artist needs to be able to do. They need to be able
and
to
he
translate your words.
He absolutely nailed it, just like the logo. He nailed it 100% of the way. We had meetings, and then when it came to lettering, I had to rewrite it and say, well, he says so Eric Weathers could have it in a format that he enjoys. And then we sent that to him for the lettering. So again, it's a learning process for me, because I'm more of a novelist. I'm just a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Can we play the trailer?
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Fine with me.
Do it.
Can you guys
shout out to Doc Blaylock for helping me put this together?
Hell yeah. I'm gonna let me know if the sound is too low.
No, it's good.
Starts off low and gets louder. I can hear "Feed the Ducks" or whatever that is in the background.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Let me pause. And take that off.
Feed the ducks.
We're on Daydream.
Yeah, I would put it. I'd crank it all the way up. Otherwise, you can't hear it.
It's my favorite song.
This me with that gay feeding the duck shit. We're on Daydreaming, okay? Mm-hmm. The extra manly. All right. Hold on. Let me just start the whole thing over. So I remove my back. That's so you don't copyright strike us, okay? That's.
Well, it's not copyright music anyway.
Dude, how'd you get those things to wiggle in black and white mode? That's awesome.
The animation?
Yeah.
We could do that.
Oh, we can?
I mean, it's possible.
If you got a good clean style.
No, I don't have enough money.
Absolutely.
Well, I would just have to. Well, it requires After Effects. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, we don't need it. But that's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
That's something we can work on in the future.
Dude, that is so medieval satanic.
Debate, whether
Yeah.
There's a debate, does a trailer really help sell a project? Well, maybe not so much on this one. I don't know. You be the judge of that. But now you go to Fund My Comic. There's Apex Comics that I co-host with. He's got a project called Fembat, and I get more out of the trailer than I do like a write-up or anything else on the campaign. So I think in that instance,
absolutely,
the trailer helps really sell his book because
yeah,
he's got so many visuals in it.
Well, what I'm saying is
like
just adding little features, like little effects, like the 2D animation you've got on some of the paneling, and like the quality of the like some of the paneling. It's funny, like looking at so much art now and doing comic books and like kind of being in the producer seat, I could really see a page that you and the artist, or you working with somebody, or you, since you're the artist, that had a really good visualization of what you wanted on the page, and you're passionate when you're drawing it, and it really pops. Like I can see, oh, that page is awesome. And so you like, you're also a good editor, because just putting that together, the pages you chose to include in that, make a pretty sick trailer. So kudos to you, my friend. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a lot of help. If you hire, I don't want to say if you hire the best, because you don't necessarily have to hire the best, but hire somebody that's competent. I've hired a few people that weren't the best, but that's
the secret to life.
Kind of good stuff. I don't know if you know Mr. Good Stuff. He's actually pretty good at making trailers.
Yep. He's done a trailer for me.
Yeah, find someone who's competent and pay them to do what you need them to do for you the rest of their life. Yeah. That's the secret to running a business.
Well, in this process, I've discovered new artists and put them to work. I mean, I didn't, that's the good thing about having people like you and Morbon, and talking about your project. Now I know you, and you get to know people by promoting, returning the favor and promoting their projects. And I've met many of the artists and not writers, but if I needed a good writer, I know who to go to, if they have time. So I've met a lot of the people, and they've done stuff pro bono for me. My new
a great
book,
colorist too. So if you're looking for a colorist, if you like the colors in our book, you're gonna like this guy's work.
Yeah, Frank.
And
we're talking about Frank.
Yeah,
Kyle,
Frank Walk.
Kyle was the colorist. Is that right? That was here.
No, it's no. Kyle is the writer for Hardly Heroes, and he's my business partner. So that's why that's why the inside jokes on jokes were confusing. Sorry, I didn't explain it. So
we have a colorist named Frank Walk, and his website is PigmaCast. And so you could actually look at his portfolio of things he's done.
Yeah, here you go. It's right here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
it's awesome. I mean, he did stuff from the original D&D cartoon. You name it. I mean, he's done Lady Death. He's done.
Thank you, Feline. I do a daily show, the 4 o'clock Shadow, as you guys know now. Been doing it for a little over 3 years. Broadcast, overstream, whatever, daily. Have fun talking about pop culture and collectibles and comics and interviews and great people like yourself.
And everyone listening, go check out the Fund My Comic and check out all the cool.
Definitely, I mean that T-shirt alone is worth a buy. That logo on it.
And stay tuned for, I guess
I can't wait to get a half dozen of them and wear it every day on the show.
There you go.
Makes my wardrobe very simple.
do we get one that's new or one that's already worn worn.
It has to be worn for like a week. Oh man, if you guys want worn Shattermare comic shirts, I got a boatload for you.
Because
just sign it in silver pen, and then
that's a good idea. I'm gonna start doing. Yeah, we're gonna do signed Ward Mercenary Guild shirts. So
oh yeah, if I want to make more Rexes, I can just get a healthy ovum, and I can make all the Rexes I want.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it.
I'm learning new words here.
It's the female reproductive systems. There you go.
That shit. He draws. Right. He draws that stuff in an hour.
Yeah, that's so good. You can crank that out. I need to learn to draw. We'll save a lot of money. No offense, Luke and Adam, and all the wonderful artists we work with. Cool. Is there anything? I guess you want to plug Rex? Talk about the YouTube channel. Look at the Fund My Comic. I think I'm good to wrap it up soon.
No, I just want to thank you guys for having me on and appreciate it. We're on the campaign trail promoting this every day. If you looked at Devil Flyer, look at it again, because there's been a lot added in the last couple of weeks, and there'll be a lot more in the coming days. So this campaign's not dead by any means. Like I said, about $71, I think, and we'll reach the next stretch goal, and you get 2 more trading cards. And then I've got stretch goals. I did not plan that out, but as I was redoing it, it's like, well, I'm going to plan for success. If I don't reach these stretch goals, after that, I think the Bog 6 a.m. sticker will be available. If I don't reach that, I'll put it on the next campaign. I'm always looking down the road, guys, because nobody else is going to do it.
Is the colorist, then he's the best in the business.
He's probably one of the best indie.
He's
comic
probably
colors.
The best in the business.
He is one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If you got
currently working on Frog G,
you can't fail.
Yeah, Frog G is a good one. Yeah, man. And for all our regular viewers, look out for a new tier where you can get a T-shirt, and not only will it be signed by all the creators of Mercenary Guild, we will also all wear it for a week before we ship it to you. So look out for that. I'm gonna wear it for a week. William's gonna wear it for a week. Luke's gonna wear it for no washing, by the way. Yeah. No washing.
Yeah, maybe I'll add that later in the campaign, like sign, T-shirt by itself, but it's autographed, by I and the
it's gonna be a hidden
artist that Devil Flyer.
I don't think it's going to be a hit at my law firm, but that's cool.
Well, you just wear under your button,
man. You gotta get creative, and
yeah. But don't worry, I work from home and air conditioning, so if you're gonna blame someone sweating in your shirt before you get it, it's gonna be, one of these guys. But I do like the idea that we can all sign the shirt.
That man's mail on me.
I sweat walking. Yeah. I sweat getting out of the car.
Yeah, there you go. You just have to go from AC to AC.
Sounds like a movie.
I like that though. I have to add that to the description if I can still edit that. So there you go. I'm gonna say that if you guys get the cool, awesome Ultimate Edition bundle and you get a shirt, we'll try to sign the shirt too if you guys want that. How about that? Is that fair, William? We can try to do that.
Well, you got send them out to me. I'll sign anything you send out, and I'll send them back from work.
Yeah, you can
hopefully we won't get audited.
As long as you're not billing hours, you just got to bill hours to Shattermare Comics.
Yeah.
Like, what are all these paralegal?
My first collection burned up in '97, and I just got back on that horse and started collecting again. And I said, well, what's cheap but is becoming popular? And I looked at Pez, started collecting Pez. So on the next campaign, we'll have a Devil Flyer custom-made Pez. Well,
that's awesome.
There you go.
That's how you
I'm
going to contact Pez. We're gonna have Devil Flyer Pez on the next campaign as a stretch goer and item that's up for sale.
We got to jump,
because I can always sell those. I've sold Pez, I've sold diecast.
Oh, nice.
Can you buy it?
Can we bite that? I mean, I would love a
like we could all
Pez dispenser.
Like we could all maybe we could go all in.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what vendor
yeah.
you used.
You-
We could go in some Shattermare Pez and you guys could do or you could do Mercenary and Devil Flyer Pez dispensers.
Hardly Heroes.
We gotta yeah, we should talk about that after the show. It's a good idea. Oh, another one is another one. Well, I don't want to spoil it because I think that's going to be our idea for our first stretch goal. So I don't want to spoil it. I'll talk to you about it, William. But I have a good idea for Luke's. Let's just say Luke's going to love it. That's the hint for people. Death Metal Hero will love the first idea for the
Well,
stretch goal.
that's a good thing that we didn't talk about on Fun My Comic is that they're kind of like a gaming or board game type platform as well. Not
yeah,
just
they're
about
doing
comics.
board games too. True.
Yeah.
I was talking about Luke Aglietta, not Luke Stone.
Oh,
but yeah, they're doing board games too. Yeah, cool. William, anything else you want to mention? Well, before you plug our stuff, I just want to say, Rex, thank you for coming on the show. It was a blast, and we should definitely hang out again soon.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll leave you guys to it because I've got another show to go on and promote and do some more artwork. It's a regular show I do over there on YouTube. It's a hump day show with Armored Glitch, and we draw and create new stuff. So, and I'll be working on a second hog design, and maybe we'll get that up on the campaign here soon.
Nice, man.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
no worries.
I mean, it was great having you on. It was great going on your show. I love talking with you.
Always a pleasure, guys. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Good night.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're about to hop off soon here too. So I guess is there anything we want to talk about before we cut it?
Just buy my book.
Yep. You heard it here first, folks. Buy the book.
I've shown guitar picks. You're gonna get one. They're great. They're Diodario, so they're a name brand.
Show it. Show it again. Hold on. Let me get a better view. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Hold on. You ready for this? Here, let's do this. Open. Let's save this. Downloads. JPEG. All right. Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wrong screen. I have a different scene for this now. Present. Image. Downloads. This is very convenient. Wow. Boom. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that fucking sweet guitar pick. Without the green. Without the green borderline.
Without the green.
Man, that came out so well. Oh my God. I didn't even realize the level of detail that's on there. That you can
and it's black pearl, so every swoosh and stuff is going to be different, but none of it washes out.
That's exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. So that's cool. So every pick will be a little unique for everyone getting their own pick, and yeah, that's great. Yeah, it doesn't wash out at all. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So I love it. Maybe what we'll do is just like, because we're gonna have a shitload of these things, because like we love guitar picks, and William went crazy. Got a bunch of them. So maybe what we'll do is like maybe after
giving out like 10.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll wait till after the campaign, or like once we hit our initial InDesign phase or whatever, and do like a tier, go on the website, and we'll just like a pack of them. You know what I mean? So like obviously everyone who's backing the book will get a pick, but then if you're just like, because when I go buy guitar picks, I don't just buy one. I get like a pack of 10 of them, you know?
Yeah, get a pack of 10 for $9 or $10. I mean,
yeah, or you know, we'll see. Well, the final pricing to be determined. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'll basically just Google what different packs of you know, we won't try to obviously want to make a little bit of money, but we're not trying to kill people. So Yeah, yeah. I think we'll do that. That'll be fun. And then if if people want extra picks, you can go get more picks. So,
yeah, it can be a merch.
Yeah.
Same with T-shirts. I mean, we can put T-shirts in the Shattermare store.
Right. But right now, you can only get them either for free with your contribution or at a discount. Like the ultimate bundle we put together is a really good deal. Like $80 for like $100 worth of.
I've sold like 3 of them so far.
Yeah,
so.
And we don't even like we should stop selling that as a discount now. Like I should go in there and be like, okay, everyone who wanted to get one before, you got a good deal. Like now you're gonna pay, I don't know, 90.
Yeah, maybe just instead of a 20% discount at 10.
Yeah, here I'm gonna do that right now because I like to hook people up, that support us early, and I don't like to undercut my stuff. I think our stuff has value in it. Call me crazy, but so yeah, over time it will go up. So basically, everyone who's got it early, you nailed it. So well, I'll have to make a new one, and update it slightly. Anyways, so there you go, folks. There's your last chance to get a discounted bundle. So if you're listening to this and you haven't
give it a day, I got to send out a text to somebody and see if they want to do it.
Yeah. I'm lazy, so I say that I'm going to do it now, but I'll probably end up doing it this weekend. So you got
6 months from now.
Yeah, you got till the end of the week, and then I'm going in there, and I'm gonna keep going up. Yeah, that's the show. Had a good time talking to Rex.
Love Rex. He's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Such a talented guy and so down to earth.
Yeah, it's crazy that's why I asked him. It's interesting that he so like a cover for a comic book, if we could draw, we would have all the covers, you know what I mean? Am I explaining this right? So like it shows you how down to earth the guy, to your point, is because he's doing all the interiors, but for the most part, like he's having pretty much all guest artists on, is what it sounded like. So it's like he's basically giving up the spotlight to be like, here, other artists in the community, like because he has the ability to do his covers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but he's going out and bringing another artist on and working with them. So that's cool.
Jason Bascom does the same thing. I mean, he brought Shelby in to do a cover. He also did a cover, but he also had Shelby come in and do a cover for his book as well. And
yeah, that's cool. Maybe we'll do that for Fund My Comic. Like, so then when we get off of Fund My Comic, we can put back into the, to the book to offer more. I don't want to.
We could have someone like Rex do a cover for us. I mean,
well, that's what I was thinking in my head when he was like, "Well, I don't really need a writer." I'm like, "Well, we could have you do a guest spot as an artist." So that's something we could do.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, it's been. I mean, look, the more people that are interested that back the book, like the more fun stuff we're gonna do. I love giving back to people, and if it
right now we're giving
a
lot of stuff. I've backed a lot of campaigns, and we're giving out more than most campaigns do. So
yeah, that's kind of my fault. We did the same thing with Hardly Heroes,
and so enjoy it. But things like a bookmark and things like a guitar pick. The reason why we chose that. Well, I'm a guitar player. I'm dog shit.
I'm an ex-guitar player.
Yeah, and I just want to inspire somebody to play guitar. I mean, have a nice pick in your hand. Maybe you want to try out a few chords and have a good time.
Right. And I just need a good bookmark, to be honest. The point we're trying to make is
I still use Graham Nolan's from the Chinook.
Oh, there you go. Well, I think the point we're ultimately trying to make is like we come up with things that we think are cool, and we hope that you guys think they're cool too. So it's like, you know, if you like it, cool. Honestly, if you guys have a suggestion for something that you would like to see as a stretch goal or something, you know, that we haven't thought about that we could throw up as a perk, like by all means. Because some of the stuff we're like, you know, oh yeah, I like this. We did it with Hardly Heroes, and it's like the picks are like that was your idea, William. It's like, hey, hell yeah, let's do picks. I want my own pick. Like, yeah, absolutely, that sounds great. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And a lot of people might not want it, but you know,
well, you're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna like
it. It is gonna be cool. And once you put it in your hands, you're gonna want to play guitar. That's there you go.
I just had a cool idea for another perk or two. Okay, I'm gonna put it in a private chat, and I just want to hear your reaction. Hold on. This is probably the most boring part of the show, seeing as how viewers can't hear or see anything that's going on right now. But I just want to capture this live for William. Also, don't say it out loud.
Oh, I won't.
Okay.
Geez. That's going to be hard to ship back and forth and whatnot. And
well, that's why I have another idea.
We'd have to choose the right thing.
I mean, I know someone who makes them.
Really?
Reach out to them. Yeah. Yeah. Or we could just price out and buy something that we think is like a pretty good, cool representation, and then we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough because before I put my name on something like that, I'd have to actually know that
it's quality. Yeah,
it's quality.
Yeah, or we could do
it's like a Stratocaster or something like that. Yeah, I'd put my name on it.
Yeah, obviously. Well, yeah, if we're not getting the legit custom, then I mean, we kind of just gave it away. So we'll talk about it later. Or even like if we somehow made enough money on the campaigns where it was like, okay, here, this is what we're doing as a giveaway, and then we're all signing it. That'd be fucking.
I mean, I know a luthier as well here in town. So
nice. Okay. All right. Cool. Stuff. No, see, everyone's dropping off because like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? So, all right.
How many people do we have watching tonight?
Like 7 or 8, and half of them are on YouTube. So that's nice. I appreciate thank you to our YouTubers.
Well, and thanks to Feline for all the links and everything.
Big thanks to Feline, and big thanks to some person. some person. I'm laughing because of the name, obviously, but I like the interaction when.
What'd you say to him in chat? You have to do shit first.
No, I said, well, someone asked to give him a wrench, and I was like, okay, here you go do shit or something. But no, it's cool because it's like, you know, especially if you guys are talking, we've got like 4 or 5 people. I don't want to interrupt you, so I'm just gonna go in chat and talk with chat. It's like, it's nice to actually have chat, you know, people like talking and sharing ideas and like, you know, polling people and seeing like, oh, what comics are you guys reading? Because like that's, you know, this is just us having one big hangout session, so it's fun to talk to you guys and, you know, share ideas and what you're reading.
We appreciate any support. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. Yeah, go check out Mercenary Guild 1. Stay tuned for the other platforms we'll be launching on, and we'll have exclusive covers for those. And you're going to get your last funding goal, and we're going to show off our first stretch goal idea. So stay tuned for that. Cool. See you, everyone.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao.
Hello, I'm William, the author and creator of Mercenary Guild, the kick-ass new 3-part dark fantasy comic by Shattermare Comics. We're very excited to bring you titles like Mercenary Guild and the new groundbreaking horror sci-fi graphic novel, Victor. For the email newsletter, please sign up at shattermarecomics.com and receive exclusives upon each launch. Then check out the latest issue of Hardly Heroes. Don't forget to grab the physical copy of Lucas the Mucus, written by the great TFM. Oh, and we have anime titties as well. Thanks again.